lot of these goals are those 1 or 2 steps
Yeah.
they're having on their players, and just like they're getting the scores like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Cool. So that's half time. We're going to take a short break for a few minutes, and we'll be back soon on Ultimate Frisbee Australia YouTube. VLS easily working around. Big, deep shot. Big backhand shot over the top of Devon. And welcome back here on Ultimate Frisbee Australia YouTube channel. Second half of the first game here, the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships 2018. VLS with a 3-point run to take half, and they'll start on offense for the second half. Shepherd now. Big shot up, looking for Krista Shen. Can't run it down. Great bid there. So Simon Talbot here,
And Kiara Heppel.
joined by Kiara Heppel. So Kiara, it's been a fairly intense game so far. A lot of back and forth from both teams.
Yes, it's almost been quite stressful from the get-go. The whole game's been very, like chasing tails.
Cool. H.I.V.E just running with a standard vert stack. Spell to win now. Great inside little break looking to Ringland. Ringland to Ivanovic. Swinging across. Spell to win. H.I.V.E taking it very easy at the moment. Great crossfield throw, just out of the reach there of Ringland. So VLS will start with a dispatch 20 from goal to Honda. Not much happening in the stack, so he'll go short in looking to Shepherd. Getting some good yards there. Shepherd looking across the field to Ross Smith, and Smith looking for Krista Shen, all on her own again. Shen's just doing well there to find space all on her own.
Yeah, she's done it a couple times now. Always just in the right position.
Yeah, VLS was a bit more conservative on the offensive there that time. Just happy to work it back and forth, looking for space.
I think they want to keep this point advantage, and I think playing safe is the option they're going to take to keep that.
So it's the last 4 goals in a row now for VLS to take a 9-7 lead.
Wow.
And I think there's still plenty of time left in this game. We're just ticking over 47 minutes, so about 35 minutes of play still to go. The rate scoring's been happening. I think we will get to 15 goals.
Yeah, the fact that how many goals have been scored in this short amount of time, I think it's going to be a fight to 15.
Yep, so they can't won't have to worry about any kind of clock management. They won't they've got to get themselves back in the game very quickly, otherwise they'll find it's going to be over before they know it.
It's very true.
So Sullivan there, a few last words to his troops there. Ready to pull. VLS taking taking a minute.
Very high pull.
That might drift out of bounds, I think. And yeah, Mortimer content to let it go. It's the first brick of the game.
It is. It was very high and floaty, like the rest of the pulls have been coming off, but did just land out of bounds.
Yeah, it's the risky run of putting it high and floaty like those. You're giving your defense time to get down there and set up, but
and that sun has come out though, so it may be looking directly into the sun.
Pretty bright now, so Mortimer will start 44 from goal. They've isolated a cut on their own in the field. Dawson with the under, but incomplete pass, and VLS with another chance. Forrest to pick up, and no, just a bit of a collision in the stack there. I think, accidental, of course. A couple of apologies there, and the disc is just going to stay with. I think Forrest has got it there. They'll just.
I think they have a discussion of where the disc may go.
No, it'll stay with Forrest. I think that's working out how long ago it occurred, so where the stall count will start from. So it'll be a low count, so Forrest will have plenty of time.
Discussions have been very fast.
Yeah.
And very just generally friendly.
But a bit of a high one there for Omani. Omani taking his time, using his reach, and between two players, but Bub's VLS has still come up with it, and nice steady pass, simple dump swing offense.
Smart. It's smart movement. And now at 10,
10-7 now.
BSL have come back from their couple points.
It's 5 goals in a row now. Momentum well and truly on their side now. So
I think they've got this flow going now, and I think they're going to try and keep it as much as they can.
yeah.
They're getting very close to 15.
I sort of wonder at some point. So Hive only have a very small roster compared to a lot of teams at this tournament. They've only got 16 players here, which seems a lot for a 7-a-side sport, but
Not for a 3-day tournament.
yeah, given the intensity of some of these games, man. Well, VLS have like over 20 on their lines, so I'm rotating.
They make up most of the sideline. I think they're going to use their legs
Yeah.
to their advantage right now.
Yeah, it's a very distinct mix of old and young. The Hive team. There's a few players like Mortimer, Barr, DeHook, who have been 10 plus years on the scene, contrasted with the junior players they've got with them. I don't think there's anyone in their mid-20s on this team.
No, it is. We've got quite a number of younger players, and then the veteran players. I should say.
Veterans, very
I
well.
won't say old.
Very diplomatic of you there, Kiara. Second brick of the game. What's happened to the pulling? It started out so well.
I reckon we can have the sun to blame for that. Sun's come out, messed up everybody's vision.
Too glary, so Hive will start with the disc. Centre field, 44 from goal. Hodson into Joyce. Joyce getting involved for the first time on offense. Hodson. VLS there. They're playing very sort of a steady defense, just content to give up some short range passes and let the sideways movement happen. And there we go. Great shot through to Ivanovic. They're through now and they're moving. Hodson, big bladey put over the top. O'Reilly bounces out of the hand. I think that might have.
It's a bit bladey.
Yeah.
Come off a bit bladey.
I think that was by design. They just needed to get there quickly over the top of the defense. But
And I think there's a bit of confusion on who was going to get that disc.
yeah, it looks like it was Tesfados. But so O'Reilly had to go up at the awkward angle there. But yeah, I think Tesfados might have just had to be a bit louder there. So look, that's straight to me, James. Please leave it. Yeah, the shot, it had to get there quickly, so he's put it up over the top. But yeah, it came in very awkwardly and very hot for O'Reilly. Very difficult catch to complete that one. But
Yes.
meanwhile, VLS have had to go for a bit of an adventure to go find that disc. But they'll restart. 64 from goal. Right on the sideline too, so
In a bit of a tricky position.
So Hive are really going to clamp down on that defending that far side, but a little spin move there to get up. Winchester brings that one down.
A bit high.
Ignores the open shot and heads to the break side. Bit of a contested throw, but
It was caught.
yeah, I think Bennett lost his feet on that catch, but he's back up and going. And
Kept possession of that disc.
big swing pass again. Omani takes time.
They're doing a little bit of back and forth here.
Yeah.
I think they're looking for those safer options once again.
Dead cuts are coming one by one. I think they've actually sort of split their stack in half and saying these guys are going deep, these guys are going under. But the dead cuts are going one at a time, very disciplined. And Bennett's on his own now. And then the under comes, great grab there by Rock. Looking in the middle of the field, goes for the low backhand, but
It's okay.
Omani got low enough to get a hand to it, but just didn't get the hand under it.
It's very close.
So Ivanovic to restart from half field.
Very active defense.
Great little starter step there by Dodson to get open, but pick called, but they're sending it back to Ivanovic. I think it happened quite a while ago. So what the players will be determining here is just when the call occurred. So how long ago everyone stopped moving for safety, and so they work out where all the players were when that stoppage happened. So I think,
It can always be that little bit confusing.
yeah,
It's not something you necessarily think about as you're
yeah.
running for a disc.
So they agree that the Dodson would have got that throw regardless. So the disc will stay with him with Winchester on the mark, starting from stall 0. Dodson immediately looking at that brake side.
We have a deep option.
Sends the big floaty backhand to 2, 1-on-1.
Very nice.
Yep, great grab by who was that? That was Sam Shellard.
And there was a nice bid there as well for the block. Beautiful.
Yep. Very tight backhand. It was headed to a bit of a contest, and Dylan Bennett there with the big layout, but
just didn't make it.
Yep. Shellard there just able to dial it in, and that's, even though that's highest first goal in quite some time, it's still only a 2-goal margin, Kiara.
It's been a close game.
Yeah.
I said at the start, I had a feeling it was going to be a very close game.
It's going to be a
Here
lot.
we are.
The stand of this tournament is going to be fantastic. We're going to have a lot of close games here because the champions of the last 3 years, Frisky, have decided to not go round this time. I think they are coming off a World Clubs campaign. I think
Fair enough.
quite a few of their players have been continuously playing for about 2 years.
It's time for a rest, I
Yeah,
think.
need to have a break at some point. And also perennial finalists, Hello Newman, and also taking the season off. So it's a very open field, and the format of the tournament this year is going to allow for a lot of close games. It's 2 pools of 8, so there's going to be a lot of pool play games compared to normal. So
Very exciting.
expect some very hotly contested and
Some rematches as well, by the looks of it, across the weekend.
rematches of games from state championships and national championship last year. Even a rematch from World Clubs we've got coming up. So
very exciting, I think.
yeah, we've got 7 games coming to today on the Ultimate Frisbee Australia YouTube channel. So strap in, ignore your work, ignore your studies. No, don't do that, of course. Another brick, Kiara. It's that sunshine. It's that sunshine. Yep.
That sun's disappeared now.
Everyone.
I'm not sure we can use that excuse to
Everyone come to Ballarat not preparing to not have any sunlight at all.
Yeah.
But
usually it rained on Ballarat. I don't think
let's
play here.
Let's not put the curse on. Sullivan and Edgar working well together, but they've
A lot of handler movement. Just back and forth.
I think they've got a they're isolating an individual player there in the middle of the stack. So Ross Smith, they're opening up space for him.
Way back.
And they've split there. They've got 2 deep cutters sitting very, very deep. O'Sullivan just rushes that pass a little bit and sends it to no one. Mortimer with the restart. Takes his time. Didn't have a stall count on immediately, so got a bit more time than you'd think. So Debman,
Quite relaxed.
bit of a windy throw, and
But it was up.
Bar's able to reel that in. Looks infield and sends it deep. Has to Smith, great grab there.
Beautiful take.
Shepherd back to Smith. O'Sullivan. Oh, great vision there by Smith, looking over O'Sullivan's shoulder. Lots of little short, sharp passes here from VLS, and H.I.V.E are running with their zone. They're
I think VLS are finding these holes. VLS are kind of, I don't know, they always seem to have that one open player that disc is going to.
Yeah.
Right on the end zone now.
Krista Shen again is
Right up.
putting in the yards at the back of the end zone. I think she's just off camera, but she is putting in more work than the rest of the players combined. And Sullivan was a tricky footwork, but Smith in the end. So obviously the goal goes from where the first contact with the ground is after the catch. So Sullivan trying to be cheeky there and just lifting his feet just before the catch, but
took a couple goes to get in, but
eventually landed on the line, which doesn't count as in as a goal. On the line is still centre field.
It's very frustrating. Very frustrating,
And
but
the ensuing confusion, Smith found just enough space. And yeah, there was only a 2 metre pass. Like as you said, Kiara, it's just finding space in close quarters and just chipping away. So
And it's working very well. I know I've said that a few times, but it's really working well. These smart passes. It's like I know quite a few puts have been put up today, but those short, sharp passes just making their way up the field are working so well and are benefiting both teams.
I think what VLS were able to do at that point is they had their two deepest cutters very deep and very wide, which forced the Hive. Yeah, which forced the Hive defenders to really pull out deep, which opened up the centre of the field there those.
It was very open. They were very deep.
Yeah. And again, like MVP of this game so far for mine has to be Krista Shen.
Oh,
she
has not stopped working.
I wish we had a GPS on her. She will have done a half marathon by now.
She just doesn't stop.
Maybe not a half marathon, but she's. But yeah, that point in particular, everyone was very static, but Shen was just charging back and forth across the end zone, keeping those deeps busy, and she's caught I think 3 goals already. So had they have taken their eyes off her for half a second, that would have been enough. Paul lands in this time, O'Reilly to start, and
First in a while.
VLS with that early pressure. O'Reilly can't get that first pass off.
Defense
This is great pressure. Has to squeeze it through to Ivanovic.
Defense is working very hard.
Yep. VLS have found a level of intensity here on defense, and Hive are under a lot of pressure here, but straight into the arms.
Yep. VLS, sorry.
Ivanovic knew that the throw was in trouble, so Fisher Day, all his own in the middle to Rock. Rock with a big crossfield shot to Forrest, all on his own, 5 metres from the doorstep. Great charge by Weiser there, but just goes in short, and that's Julianne Lamb getting her name on the scoreboard.
Beautiful cut, very well timed.
She timed that great because that early up the line movement, I think it was Matthew Weiser there, created that option, but then so everyone stayed out, the offense and defense, knowing that hard cut was coming. But then I think a fraction of it. So we see here, so Forrest on the doorstep, defenders all were too worried about that cut, and then
because he was looking for that option in the end zone. He was looking for a dump.
And Lamb just got a step ahead of Joyce there and just said, right, I'll take that. So if we see, you can see Lamb there standing just camped at the front of the stack, keeping hard on that. Yeah, just takes off there, just sees that space about to open up. So she anticipated Visor was going to keep going.
Yeah, and that corner can be quite busy and quite small, but they've done and worked that so well.
And it was good discipline by Visor to keep going out of that cut. It can be tempting for some people to make the up the line cut, but then try and come back under.
Yes, definitely.
I think because he continued going, Lamb was spotting, all right, some real estate's about to open up, I'm going in. And I think, Joyce was on it, just wasn't ready for that. So good composure there from VLS on offense. So they've blown it out to 12-8 now, well and truly in control of the game.
I feel like it's definitely becoming a race to 15. I think they're trying 15.
Yep, they want to get this game over and done with. It's going to be a very long day for the teams here.
Especially for Hive with their small numbers, but they're playing very well.
Yep. Paul landing very close to the line. O'Reilly just asking the sideline. He took his eyes off it. Asked the sideline, hey, did that land on the line? And was given the nod, so he'll take the brick. So the Paul landing out of bounds of the full means the offense start with it 20 metre advance, so 44 metres from goal. And O'Reilly, the big backhand, immediately looking for Aaron Garbutt, but good defense there from VLS to swat that away, and they'll take another chance. Oh, what a hammer fake.
Faked me out.
Bit of a floaty pull there. Downey. Downey, I don't know how she didn't get a hand to that. And another chance. Visor there.
This is feeling very stressed. A lot of fast throws are coming off. But
Mortimer fumbles that one and swatted away by, I think that's Forrest. Oh, no, sorry, that's Josh Burns there. Big throw. Nice to be grabbed by Bennett. Bennett with the bladey shot, finding Visor at the end, and that was just over the...
There was a couple of them back there.
Yeah, that was...
Visor and...
I think there was Tamis there floating around as well.
But there was only one defender with them.
Yep. So you see, that bladey shot go up over the top, and yeah,
I've seen that a couple of times this way.
it's become a bit of a trend, the blade throw.
Kind of that blade outside in.
It's a very high percentage shot, but the advantage is that it gets there very, very quickly. So defenders are often caught out of position because they don't have time to adjust as the disc sort of floats. So they just have to plant where they are and just try and get it overhead.
Yeah. But it is very fast. It is a good, I can understand that it is a good option, but it is a bit risky. But I guess with a couple points up on the scoreboard, I think they're willing to take those risks.
Yeah, and especially in the conditions, no breeze at all to speak of. Oh, I think it's starting to sort of
very lightly.
Very, very light. Nothing to really affect.
This level of play.
Yeah, players have been playing for this amount of time. And timeout called there. I think that might have been H.I.V.E. to call that one. I think they were running a bit low on energy, and it's
There was a lot of back and forth at that point as well. I think legs might be a bit tired.
Yep. It's a little bit of fatigue. So it's a difficult conversation a team would have at this point. They're 5 down, and it's game 1 of a very, very long day. I think H.I.V.E. have got 4 games on today. Do you continue to try and chase this one, or do you just decide that this one's out of your reach and time to look ahead instead?
Yeah, I think it's very much for H.I.V.E. playing smart.
Yep.
They don't want to use any energy they don't have to. I think they want to try and conserve it as much as they can.
It's not about rolling over or conceding the game. It's just about do we try and... It's more about do we try and pull our good players on, or do we just trust our current lines, our current structures? Do we need to make any changes? Like what they're currently doing isn't necessarily getting it done, but it's just the case of do we change it to try and peg a few points back, or do we just keep going with what we're doing?
Yeah.
See the game out and be ready for the next round.
Because they come starting the game, they come off very fast and very aggressive in the way their defense. But I think it's worn them out.
Yep.
I think they spent a little too much energy at the start.
Yeah.
And they might start to feel it. Or have already started to feel it.
It's a long tournament, don't forget. So VLS not having such issues. Very.
Oh, the pool was stayed in.
Yep.
Very slowly.
Just sent it straight down the guts this time. Ivanovic. Closing close quarters, and that was good pressure by the defence there. They really clamped in tight on that centre space, forcing the throws to go outside, and just a little bit too much zip on that forehand for the completion. But
10-15 from the end zone.
Rock now. Isolating Winchester. That was just at Winchester's feet, and I think Dodson was like, "I'm all over this one," but the throw went behind him.
Nearly had it too. It was very.
A couple of cutters very deep here, and Warner Barr just finding space on her own there again. To Hoog.
Looking for more of these short, safe passes.
Over the top to Ivanovic. Smart pass there, just over the top of the defender. Ivanovic throws it up the line, but I think the Hoog just tried to milk a few too many yards out of it. Visor saw the opportunity to come in and swat it away, and did so safely as well. Made sure he just didn't throw his body at it. Just
it was very controlled.
Yeah, did well to avoid any contact with the Hoog, and
I feel like
it's a very dangerous situation, that one. The cutter can be running without looking at what's coming. But Visor did very well there to keep that play safe and effective. So Rock to restart. Right on the sideline. VLS, they got the stack very close to the sideline, and
have that possession.
Throw went into traffic. It come off Visor's hand, but I think he anticipated defender getting a hand to it, which is why it bounced out. So
it's a bit jumpy almost.
Spelter with the backhand line straight into the lap of
Visor again.
The advisor's been thrown to a few times this game, both by his team and others.
Yeah, in that corner too. That's twice now.
Yep, that's his territory, no one else's. Rock. Had to be a pinpoint pass, and it was. Not much action happening from the stack, and
No.
Bub has to turn and look at Bennett. Bennett wants it deep, but no one's going. Bub continues up the line. Big floaty disc there, but reels it in, gets some extra yards.
Yeah, the stack was very static.
Again, wants the end zone, but has to look back. Can see some ground. Bennett goes across the field, but just didn't steady himself on that pivot. And
Liza thought maybe it was a chance to keep it up.
Yep.
And it was a beautiful bid, but it was just a bit too low.
yeah, Dodson to restart. Once the immediate huck with Dodson, just goes short to Hoog. To Hoog out to Barr.
On the sideline.
Barr looking for fantastic layout grab there by Sam Shellard.
Bit
The
of
head
a
advisor
rolling
there,
volley.
and with the hammer over the top, looking for Dodson. Oh, he's on!
Oh,
No!
just missed it.
I think he was just a bit too steady. I think he thought that's going to drop straight in the lap, but just carried on and.
Oh, there's been quite a few of those risky throws from that corner.
Yep.
And quite a few of them have made it, but that
Yeah.
one just didn't.
I think they're having to take those risks because there's not much cutter movement.
It was very static, and it has been for the last point or so.
VLS has changed to a horizontal stack to try and address some of that, give everyone a bit of space to move in. Bub with a nice easy under, great move there.
We're seeing a bit more movement now. This is a beautiful grab.
Shen with the disc, looking back to Rock. Winchester has Bub on her own. Puts it up. Can Bar get there? But no. Too far. Great shot to Shannon Bubb there to take the score out to 14-8.
She read that disc very well, positioned her body, and so she could just kind of stand there and catch it almost. No turns, no jumps.
Yep. And again, VLS, I've noticed when they're taking their shots, they like to take deep shots from the sideline, but they're aiming at the centre of the field. They're not just making it a straight throw down the line.
Yeah, it's very smart of them because pumping it down that sideline is a bit risky. I would say it doesn't pay off as much as they come out, but so centering that disc almost into the middle of the end zone is very safe and very smart.
Yep, and it's good. The cutters are anticipating that, and they're sort of they're making their cuts down the centre of the field and hanging back, noting a lot of the throws have enough shape on them to curve into them, so they're not sort of going in and attacking you early. They're just sitting back, knowing that a throw is going to come into their path. It's
and I think some of these connections are coming from the weekly trainings that VLS have, and their scrimmages as well. There's a lot of connections on this field that are just happening without kind of any stress.
Yeah.
It's very fluid.
VLS founded a couple of years ago, and it's somewhat of a rarity in mixed teams a couple of years ago is to have open tryouts where anyone can come. So a lot of mixed teams historically, competing has been formed from like existing like friendship groups, I guess, or club groups or locality-based group. VLS threw it open to everyone in Sydney, saying, "Come on, come down and try out." They have a fair core of UTS and University of Sydney alumni, but they've done very well as a club. They also had their second team recently win Australian Division 2 Mixed Nationals last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend.
Yep, in a cracking final over two men from Brisbane. That was a great game to watch. H.I.V.E with the disc now. Mortimer all on his own. Puts the shot out. Here we go. Much better offense here from H.I.V.E. A lot more movement now.
Yeah. It's slowed down a little bit now, but I think it's going back to those safe. Unfortunate. Just didn't.
The commentator's curse strikes. Abby Dawson there. The throw was just a touch behind her, so it was difficult to catch. Great shot there by Wire. Looking for.
Oh, what a take.
Calm as you like from Scenario. And puts the shot over the top.
Was looking for that. Beautiful.
Toyomani. And that is the game. A 15-8 win there to VLS to open their Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships 2018 campaign.
Yeah, it must be a good. It'd feel good to start the weekend off like this. Kind of give them a bit of like confidence and boost
Yep.
for the rest of the weekend. Taking this game before time.
Yep. So just under 75 minutes they were able to get that done, and yeah, very very dominant from about 35 minutes onwards. It was 6-4 to H.I.V.E at that point, and then since that point it's been 9 goals to VLS and 2 to H.I.V.E.
And I think that's coming from, I feel like H.I.V.E come out so strong and they were playing so well and they continue to, but I think it was VLS's legs that kind of took them there towards the end.
Cool.
But H.I.V.E played fantastically.
So that's it for round 1 on day 1 of the championships. Simon Tolwood here with Kiara Heppel. Thanks for joining us, and the next game we'll have coming up soon at about 10:20. So be sure to tune back into Ultimate Frisbee Australia on YouTube, and we'll see you then.
Thank you very much.